Professor Tochukwu
Tochukwu
Okeke.
Okeke.
He's a senior lecturer in the Department of Theatre Arts, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. He's here to help us share or throw more light, like I always like to say, on welfare of university lecturers in Nigeria. Are they well catered for? Good morning, Prof.
Good morning. Can you hear me very well?
Yes,
Okay,
we
we
can
can
hear
hear you.
you. Wonderful to have you here with us this
Okay.
morning.
How is Awka?
Okay,
I think we
a
might have to
little
get
sunny
back
this
to
morning.
Professor
Okay.
Tochukwu.
You say?
Are you not here? Can you hear me? Atlanta is a little sunny. It's a bright day here.
Prof, can you be a bit louder? We barely hear you.
Oh,
We're struggling to hear you.
I said, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay. Okay,
Oh,
yes, we can hear you.
hello?
Just a bit. Hello, Prof,
Okay.
good morning.
I said, yes. Good morning. Am I audible now?
How are you doing this morning, Prof?
Oh.
Hello, can you hear me
Network.
better now? Am I audible now?
I think,
Yeah, hello,
yes,
can you hear
you
me?
are, but it comes off and on. It goes off, then it comes on.
You
Then
can barely hear
Just a
me,
little
I
network
guess.
glitch.
Is it better now?
yes, it
It
is.
is better.
Okay. So as I was saying, as you asked about Oka, and I said Oka is a little bright this morning. We had a little bit of rainfall yesterday, but today is a very bright day. Thank God.
Well, it is the raining season, so everybody has been receiving some drops of rain.
We're supposed to be having August break.
Of
Mind
August
you.
break, please. I think it's August rain. Well, Professor, wonderful to have you. We want to go straight to the topic: the welfare of university lecturers in Nigeria. From your own personal experience, how has it been being a lecturer and a professor in the country?
To be
Professor.
very honest and frank, talking about welfare of university lecturers, there's nothing to talk about. It is very, very poor.
Okay, explain.
Hello?
Can you expatiate? Can you expatiate what you mean poor?
What I mean is poor. Like, I'm in the office now. We haven't had light here in the past 1 week. When you are in the office, you can't do any work. You will just be here treating files, talking to students. You can't do any research when you don't have power. I don't want to go into the remuneration that we get as salary, because they say it's a take home, but our salaries cannot take us midway to our homes. So that's why I said our welfare is very, very poor about university lecturers. I'm talking about federal university lecturers.
Okay, so on a lighter note, since the take home can't take home, at what point does it stop you
Yes.
at the bus stop or in front of the school gate? Just on a lighter note.
If you are lucky, you can get to the bus stop.
Wow.
See, the reality is this. The reality is
But
this.
okay, I'd like to ask, you complained about there not being light. Is this the problem from the university or the problem with the electricity distribution company?
It is the problem with the university, in the sense that because there's very poor funding, everybody knows that electricity is epileptic here in the entire nation. So when there is poor funding, you can't afford to get generating sets that can power the university. But if you notice now, you can hear me better, because the generator that we are using in the theater has just been switched off. This is what we get here. From morning till night, you have to burn extra fuel at your own expense to do a job that the government is supposed to take care of. So here, when you use the little salary that we get to power a generator in the office, power your fuel your car, power the one at home. So you see, it is almost a near pandemic for the university lecturer.
All right, Professor. So apart from electricity, what are the other primary challenges faced by university lecturers in Nigeria today, even from your own experience as well?
Yes, apart from the electricity angle, every other thing we do here is, let me use this Igbo word, ikeketolie, in the sense that because our salaries are nothing to write home about, you have to bend yourself backward to meet every other personal needs. Okay, for instance, they say in the academics that you must publish. The average journal, I'm not talking about the foreign ones, that one is a no-go area. The average journal you can publish in Nigeria here will not take you nothing less than 30,000 naira for you to publish a journal article. And you must get nothing less than 5 publications in a year for you to get promotion. So think about it. When you have to pay 30,000 for a journal, just one, and you have to buy books because these books are not available in the libraries, and you have to, even the teaching materials we use, the markers, the whiteboards, you have to procure by yourself. So I mean, everything here is just that this is something one has to do. Otherwise, being a lecturer in Nigeria of today is not very palatable. It's not something one can turn his heart and say, I am a lecturer, in terms of welfare.
Okay. So what are the implications of these challenges, and what effect does it impact on the quality of education in the country?
Straight to the point, low productivity. Because when you don't have materials to research with, you can't give what you don't have. Because the students, they are all internet savvy. So if your teaching is not up to their expectations, you won't expect much from them in return. And these are the children that will turn out tomorrow to become teachers of sort, be it lecturers, secondary school teachers, or whatever. So when you don't give them quality teaching based on the fact that you cannot afford to do these personal researches on your own because of the poor funding, you see, what you get in at the end is low productivity. It tells on the generations to come, because they may not have access to quality education at the end of the day. So it's a chain reaction. When you don't teach them well, they in turn will not have enough materials to teach the children they will teach in the future. It's only very few of us that struggle to, make sure that we are where we are, because we have chosen this profession and we must make the best out of it, not minding the poor welfare that we are given.
Okay, knowing that the judicial officials or the judicial system, they didn't threaten to go on strike as regards their salaries, but it was increased nonetheless. So how do you compare it? What is the current state of university lecturer salaries in Nigeria in comparison to other professions?
It is the lowest. Okay, you are a journalist. You yourself just said that the judicial workers' salaries were increased. Ours are even being reduced. If, as I'm talking to you now, we are still being owed 4 months arrears of salary. That's why I don't know where or what they want lecturers to do, university teachers. Because when you talk about your welfare, they look at it as if you are just making noise, because nobody cares. At the end of the day, even parents blame lecturers. But at the end of, if you look at it very critically, you notice that it's not lecturers' fault. In Oka here, we don't have staff quarters. Everybody pays for his accommodation. Where I stay, I pay over 500,000 annually. How much is my annual salary? That I have to pay almost 600,000 for accommodation. If I decide to live in Enugu, where accommodation is cheaper, how much fuel will I be burning? At what time will I get to Oka and go back? So when you consider all these things, you see that the university lecturer is the person that is lowest paid in this country.
Okay, you know, when you said that accommodation is cheaping, and there were shocks and reactions in the studio. But, well, we'll bypass that. How do salaries vary across different institutions? I mean, different universities. Do they, and the regions, are there some regions that pay more than others? Or is it a flat rate across all universities?
Amongst the federal universities, a flat rate. Every cadre receives what the other person receives. But ironically, some private universities pay much higher than the federal workers. So there's always this pull to want to leave. Even some state universities pay higher than the federal universities. I don't know how it came about, but that is the reality. The federal universities suffer most in terms of welfare.
Okay, so what are the implications of these low salaries for both recruitment and retention of qualified lecturers? What are the implications?
Nobody recruits an unqualified lecturer. You must be qualified before you are recruited. It's not that the implication is that when you come in, your expectations begin to die down as days go by, because what you may be looking up to will not be what you will see or what you'll be getting at the end of the day. When your work is not too much appreciated, there's this tendency for you to begin to lose steam as the time passes.
All right, Professor. So what are the working conditions for university lecturers in Nigeria? Professor Okeke.
I can hear you. The working conditions
Okay.
are not, they are only on paper. As I did mention about accommodation, we don't have any of those conditions being applied. Even, okay, there's this housing scheme that they take our money every month, and nobody knows where this money goes into. When you agitate, they say you are going on strike, and they will not pay you. Say it's no work, no pay. Every month, they remove lump sum from our salary, say it's National Housing Fund. Where are these houses? Where does this fund go into? These are answers that are begging for. These are questions that are begging for answers.
Professor,
That's why
who is
when
responsible for
ASU
taking these funds?
begins to agitate, they say ASU has started it. It's the federal
Professor,
government. It's the doctor from top.
Federal government.
Yes.
And they remove it
Before your
monthly?
salary hits your account, they have taken it.
So how has this affected the lecturers in Nigeria? I mean, compared to other countries and international bodies, the way they are treated is quite different. How has this affected your workload, your desire to even work at home?
It affects us tremendously negatively because, okay, recently I went on a conference outside the country. Lecturers from other countries were, very okay. I could barely feed myself because of the rate of our naira to the dollar. So it affects us negatively. When Nigeria, everybody wants to meet you, everyone wants to talk to you, everyone wants to, but then you don't have anything to offer apart from your intellectual ability. You can't even buy books outside this country. There's the publication I made in the UK. I have to pay almost something thousand naira to get a copy because of the exchange rate. How much is my salary that I have to pay something thousand to get a book? I have an article in. So, I mean, you people should pray for us and lend voice to all these our cries. Maybe the government will listen to you people.
Okay, so Prof, from all indications, the situation in our university, especially as it concerns lecturers, are not palatable. So,
At all.
so what can be done rightly? Because first you laid claim, or you said something about that federal government takes out a chunk of money from your salaries, and they said it's for something. and you don't see it, you don't see what they use it for, but you don't also call or question it for fear of being seen that you're agitating. So what is the way forward? How does government interference and censorship affect the quality of research and teaching? Just in a nutshell, you rounding up. Hello, Professor Tochukwu. Are you with us?
Okay, I
Okay.
think we've lost Professor.
If
We'll
there are
get
some
back.
things that, if they are provided for lecturers, the university will become where a citadel, where it's what is supposed to be, a very fine place where when we are in the university, we all look forward to this profession because of the way our lecturers were then. But today, it's a reversal. I think government should look kindly at our demands. There's an MOU that was signed since 2009, which government has neglected and have refused to implement. If that MOU is implemented, we won't be talking about these things today.
Okay.
And that was what caused the last strike that we stayed 8 months, and they're still owing us for it. Not minding that we have made up for all those past. Every school now has caught up with the recent current academic session. We are taking care of the backlog, but yet government has refused to pay. So I think
All right.
everything lies. They have the knife, they have the yam. So they
All right,
should
Professor.
do
Because of
what they're
time,
supposed to do.
we will
They
not
signed
be
the
able
agreement.
to
They were not
continue.
coerced. They were not forced.
Professor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much. Because of time, this is the much we will be able to take. Thank you for such insights and perspective in this. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.